Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Wrestling Viz of the World podcast. If you don't join today, sweet if not, then what the hell ever. So, I'm recording this after Cody won the championship again from Drew McIntyre. Three-time WWE champion, he finished the story again, and all that other stuff. But I'm seeing some backlash from fans on social media because, unfortunately, it doesn't matter what WWE does. Fans hate when even a good guy gets a feel-good moment, like being champion again, or main eventing, or whatever goes on. We've seen that so many times. But I've seen some fans try to imply that Cody's basically the most push/forced top guy in WWE history. That's honestly not the case. Have we forgotten about Roman's run before he became the tribal chief? Because, it goes all the way back from, December 2014 up until he disappeared in 2020. Because, yeah, it wasn't bad at first. Because, they broke away the Shield, he started to rise up, things got halted a bit because he had the hernia surgery. But then when he came back in December 2014, that's when things went off the rail, because, he was supposed to cut a promo after costing Seth his tables match with Cena at the TLC event, and he couldn't remember the full lines for the promo just to let people know that he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. He just stopped like, huh? Huh? Just staring at the camera blankly. And then you had the Suffering Succotash line from SmackDown that did not do him any favors. He wins the Royal Rumble. I've already talked about that in a past episode, back when fans were still hot about Daniel Bryan not getting a proper conclusion for his whole rise to the top, because he was still hot in the eyes of the fans and everything, and didn't last long in the Royal Rumble itself. But they could tell that, Roman Reigns is the guy, and he beats Daniel Bryan at Fastlane, which probably nobody really remembers. And then, it seemed like they were going to give him the big moment at WrestleMania, but then they were, at a crossroads with the company, being like, hey, do we put him on there, put the title on him, or do we keep it on Brock? What's the thing we gotta do? We gotta establish a new guy, because we don't have Cena in this role, really, at this spot, actively anymore, because we're trying to come up with the future, but at the same time, fans aren't accepting it, so they went with Plan C of Seth cashing in, which was a smart move. But then afterwards, I remember even when watching this back then, it's just okay, they don't have the title on Roman now, because they went with a different option. What did they do with Roman next? And they put him in a feud with the Big Show going into Extreme Rules, which is where they had the last man standing match. And they gave him that promo of the whole magic beans, Big Show and the Beanstalk. Do you know what he found? And all that nonsense. It's they were not giving him any material to really get him over. Cena, I know he got a more polarizing, mixed to negative reaction and everything, but at least he could cut a proper promo when given, some good material and everything. Look at any promos he cuts before a pay-per-view. He can cut a really damn good promo. Sell you on the event and everything. But with Roman, they just give him this cheesy stuff over and over again. Like I said, the Suffering Succotash stuff, he lost his train of thought when trying to tell people it's going to be in the Royal Rumble. This Big Show and the Beanstalk thing that I just mentioned was just absolutely dumb. Then it's just it seemed like they were going to put Money in the Bank on him, but then they have him feud with Bray Wyatt instead, and that was a feud I don't think a lot of people really remember. I really don't remember, besides the fact they had a Hell in a Cell match. And then you get to the end of the year, 2015. He's supposed to face Seth at Survivor Series, but Seth had a leg injury, so they had vacated the title, and now we got a tournament. And it goes down to Roman and Dean, and Roman's being offered a chance to join the Authority if he's a champion. So he wins the tournament, he's finally champion, but he attacks Triple H, be like, I'm not joining your Authority, big dog. He beats the hell out of Triple H, and then in comes Sheamus, who cashes in Money in the Bank. And now, oi fella, I'm champion fella. And that also starts the genesis as time goes along for him to start forming the League of Nations. We know how terribly that went on. So, they put the title on Roman, then take it right back off of him, because of this whole thing. He loses the TLC, and then they have a match on Raw in the same, I think it might have been the same venue. I know it was at least around the same city as the Royal Rumble, where he's facing Sheamus on Raw, and if he loses, he retires, but Roman wins, and the fans give him a positive reaction. It's just what in the world? You put him in the Royal Rumble, he gets booed out of the building, and now you get to hear, and it's a complete opposite reaction. So it's just okay, a feel-good moment there, but then the next week, we're back to the status quo, our fans are just boo. So they do the Royal Rumble, they put the title on the line, because Roman's the champion going into this Royal Rumble match, and they try a little bit of the elements, with him being out of the match and then coming back. We saw similar stuff with, Austin and Vince at Royal Rumble 99. But at the end, Triple H comes back at number 30, and he wins the match. Like, he eliminates Roman, and at the end, he eliminates Dean, and Triple H, he's the 14-time champion. Ugh. And then fans can tell, oh boy, this means Roman's going to get his moment back at WrestleMania. And he eventually does, because he wins the triple threat with Dean and Brock at Fastlane, even though he could have just gotten a rematch, because it's like, hey, he's a former champion, rematch clause and all that, but I guess no. He's got to earn it somehow, because company's kind of inconsistent with somebody being the rightful number one contender and all that. I've discussed that before, too. So they have the match at WrestleMania 32, main event, and the fans were not having this. Like, the match was slow. Like, nothing was interesting about the match outside of the fact that Roman accidentally speared Stephanie. It was just a main event that people just completely, collectively rejected. Roman won, despite, like, all that stuff that went on, and this also led to the end of the Authority, thankfully. So Roman's back to being the guy again in one of the most rejected main events. And the next night, oh, I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a good guy. I'm the guy. Like, my gosh. Like, what was Vince smoking when he was writing this material for Roman? Because it's like, this was stuff that just did not feel organic, did not feel like stuff he was able to actually get himself invested in and deliver a line convincingly. It was just like Suffering Succotash, Beanstalk, the guy, and all that stuff. So it's just like, fans were not happy about this. But then he feuds with AJ. It's a couple great back-to-back pay-per-view matches that I think was like Payback and Extreme Rules. And those worked, even though AJ did not win and everything, but still great matches. And then Seth comes back. Like, hey, I'm back. And all that stuff. So Seth wants his title back. And he beats Roman at Money in the Bank. Because Roman had to drop the title because I think it was like on Adderall or something. It was some kind of wellness policy violation for medication that he was on. So he got suspended, have to drop the title. And then Dean, after Seth wins, cashes in his Money in the Bank that he just won. And now, all three members of the Shield have been WWE champion in the same night. It's like, okay. So Roman then has to go away. He's there the next night on Raw, and he's kind of like showing a bit of elements as a heel, because like getting angry at getting irritable at the fans for booing, telling them, "Oh, shut up and drink your beers" and all that. But Roman had to go away. They're doing the Triple Threat Battleground, and it doesn't feel like they had any emphasis about the fact that, hey, it's the Shield finally imploding, finally, like in a standard Triple Threat. No, it's about more of the status where the WWE title goes, because they brought back the brand split. If Ambrose retains, the title goes to SmackDown, but if either Seth or Roman wins, it goes to Raw. Dean retained by beating Roman, because Roman is in the doghouse at this point. So now this title's going back over to, or becoming SmackDown exclusive and Raw. Oh, we don't have a world title. We got to have the Universal Championship being born. And Roman did not even win the tournament. He lost to Finn, of all people. And I've already discussed that whole thing. But now Roman, he then has to go through like the feud with Rusev and the whole stuff with Lana and everything. It's just like, nobody probably really remembers it, especially compared to Dolph and Rusev, because that was at least more memorable, even if for the wrong reasons. But Roman does all that. Then, as 2017 goes, Royal Rumble, he eliminates The Undertaker, negative reaction. This is my yard now. So, they have the match at WrestleMania then, no holds barred, and it was supposed to be the end of Undertaker's like career and everything. It was like he lost, so he's like his second and only ever loss at WrestleMania, leaves his stuff in the ring and descends through the ramp before the stage catches on fire. So then Roman, like, this would have been a good time to turn him heel. Like, seeing the heat that he was getting after this, because, like, he seemingly retired The Undertaker, at least we thought at that point. And then you listen to the reactions he got. The second man to ever defeat The Undertaker at WrestleMania and seemingly retired him, that we thought. And, like, before he could even cut a promo or anything, the fans were just drowning him out with chants and boos and everything. The only thing he says, "This is my yard now," and then walks off. But no, we still got to keep him babyface, like, because that was just absolutely stupid. That would have been a good time to turn him heel and, like, change things up. Like, go with the crowd reaction and go with the momentum. Like, follow through with that reaction that the fans are giving him, instead of resisting it and continually giving us, like, this cringeworthy content. Then he keeps going with the feud with Braun Strowman, which I actually didn't mind. I thought they had some really damn good matches. You get to, like, Great Balls of Fire later on, and they freaking messed that up, because, like, Roman lost an ambulance match at Great Balls of Fire to Braun, but then he tries to end Braun Strowman by putting him in the back of the ambulance and backing it into the bed of a semi-truck. It's like, that's not a babyface move. No babyface tries to end another man's life, especially under those circumstances. But they keep him as a good guy, even though he lost. Oh, I should get a shot at Brock Lesnar's Universal title at SummerSlam. And yeah, they had a good segment there the night after Great Balls of Fire. It's Kurt, it's Roman, it's Joe, Paul Heyman, and Brock. That was a damn good moment, even though you don't really remember much of what Roman said outside of just saying that, oh, Kurt, I handle Braun Strowman because you didn't know how to, and Brock, you're never around to. Which is like, alright, that's a good point. But then you go through that, you had the stuff with Cena, No Mercy, and Roman, like, his flaws are pointed out in front of everybody, saying, hey, you can't freaking be the top guy because you're not ready, and you're not good enough, you can barely cut a promo, and all that stuff. And yeah, Roman got the win at the end and everything, but, like, nothing was done to really get people into his favor as the next guy, because they were more in Cena's favor because he was telling the truth about how the company was giving Roman, like, to the fans and all that stuff. Like, corporate created, nothing's authentic, he's a John Cena bootleg, stuff like that. They weren't giving us any material to grab onto to really say, hey, I support Roman, I like him, or anything like that. So, they get through all that, you have the stuff with, like, Brock and everything still going on, and you get to the Royal Rumble. Roman almost won the Royal Rumble match again, but it's just like, no, that goes to Shinsuke. But then he wins the Elimination Chamber the next month, and we gotta have Brock Roman 2 in the main event of WrestleMania 34. Fans wholeheartedly rejected this as well. Because it's just like, this had none of the magic from the previous match from 31, which actually exceeded expectations. It was just Suplex City and 6 F5s and blood, and it destroyed an announce table. Roman was supposed to have won, but then Vince changed his mind, being like, damn it, we can't give the fans that. So they keep title on Brock, who threw the belt at Vince when he got back to a gorilla position and everything. So it's just like, that was just absolutely, like, stupid. It's like, yeah, even if the fans would have rejected Roman winning this moment, at least it would have made more sense. Like, seeing how, like, much time was invested, but then it just felt like they got cold feet and everything. Any other matches, like, they kept failing to put the title on Brock. He had the feud with Joe, which nobody bought into at Backlash, which started causing people to go back home early and everything, because it's like, oh, we gotta beat the traffic. And then finally he gets his moment at SummerSlam. It's like, yeah, mixed reaction, but it's like, okay, finally they gave him the moment, but it was short-lived because Hell in a Cell happened. I've talked about that. And then leukemia came back, which we didn't know about. We started to get realized sympathy for the guy because it's like, nobody's going to celebrate a guy who's just out there doing his job, having a real-life health issue. So we had to vacate the title, came back for WrestleMania. He's in remission, thank goodness. And this stuff was going on with the Shield to write them, like, at the end as Ambrose was leaving the company. Crazy, and all that stuff. He had the stuff with Drew and Shane McMahon. Oh, I'm the best in the world. I'm not doing that long-winded introduction. Like, just, you know what I meant by all that. So it's like that stuff, and bringing back The Undertaker and everything. So it's like he didn't feel like his career ended on proper terms. So that retirement didn't truly mean anything yet, because it's like, oh, got to end it the right way. So you go through 2019, and you get to the end of the year. And this is one of the ones I think might have truly driven Roman away as like one of those breaking points. And it was the feud with Baron Corbin. And the whole thing about freaking dousing each other in dog food. Oh, you're the big dog. Ha ha. Look, I've got a mascot. Here, eat, doggy. And it's just like, that was just so dumb. Even when Baron Corbin got his comeuppance, like he's handcuffed around the ring post, and the Usos and Roman just dump gigantic crock pots, buckets of chili or dog food, or whatever they put in there. It could have been manwich, I don't know. But they dump all this stuff on him. It'd be like, oh, haha, you got your comeuppance now, and it's just like one of the most cringeworthy things. So then you get to the 2020 stuff. The pandemic's about to kick in. Roman fails to win the Royal Rumble, because that goes to Drew McIntyre, because, once again, Roman's got to be that runner-up. And you'd think that he was about to challenge Goldberg, because it's just like, even though he didn't do anything to earn the title shot, he's just like, oh, I'm next. And he was going to have the match, but then, nope, he got to back out because he's got to think more about his health and everything, because he's immunocompromised, and they throw Braun Strowman in there, and Braun finally got his moment, but it was one of those too little too late things, seeing his prior booking. So yeah, it's like, it feels weird, like, I know I can have mixed feelings of Cody, depending on, like, what they're presenting him, but when you compare to Roman's run from, like, December 2014 up until he disappeared before WrestleMania 20, or 36 in 2020, Roman was clearly the more over-pushed, forced guy when it came to somebody trying to get put in that position, the company trying to hammer home about this guy and where fans should feel about him, compared to anybody else. Because even with the negative reactions, the terrible promo like stuff that material that they were giving him, and all these like feuds and everything, like the writing and everything, just was not doing Roman any favors to get him seasoned and feel like he was in the rightful spot. Like when he came back as a tribal chief later on in 2020 after like SummerSlam, or when SummerSlam happened and everything, they gave him a character and material that actually worked. Like, it felt like stuff he could actually not just recite, almost like he's doing like a rehearsal for like a sitcom or something. But they gave him material that he could actually get behind and give a proper delivery, and people could get invested in this character, and it actually worked. This whole big dog, head of the table, well, pre-head of the table, you know what I mean, big dog, friggin' Roman Reigns thing just did not work because they did not give us anything to get behind, and they were just forcing it so fast. Because, like, again, you look at WrestleMania 31, this was less than a year after the Shield broke up. And who knows how different things would have been, even with Roman's push and everything, if he didn't go away for a few months because of his hernia issue. Who knows what would have been done there? I know he would have had the match with Seth at, like, Night of Champions, I think it was. But it's just, like, you want to talk about a guy being over-pushed? Like, Cody Rhodes, like, yeah, there can be some elements of that, but compared to Roman Reigns, what we got from what I just talked about, that's at a far higher degree compared to anybody else. It's like, yeah, Cena, they overpushed him as well too, but at least it wasn't to like such the vitriol, like fan reaction compared to what Roman would get later on. Because like, yeah, Cena would have a good negative reactions like here, depending on the venue and all that, but you compare to what they kept giving with Roman and everything, and how they tried to present him, it's just like, Roman during that period, you could easily say was more forced than anybody else. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do any of you really agree with Cody being the most forced top guy in the company? Or do I have a point here that you believe, that you agree with involving Roman during this period? Because it's like, I mentioned this to somebody on Twitter, and it's just like, I stand by this thing. Roman was more like forced and pushed like to a top guy position and everything compared to anybody else. More than Hogan, despite like the fact that he never really gave us a whole lot of like memorable matches, especially when you see how the company was presenting itself back then. More force than Diesel, like especially even with the business and everything that was going on back then. More than Shawn, like who was not doing good ratings and everything. More than Cena and others. But anyway, let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed today's episode of the podcast, folks, please remember, leave a like, subscribe to the bell, turn on here on YouTube, comment what you thought below, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks for listening, folks. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, and good day, everybody.